All right, here's the air compressor contactor control operating. So right now we need to get the compressor turned back on. So we're only at 20 psi. The manual switch is off right now. I generally keep that off. But since this is off, this is going to stop this control from working right now. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this switch, but I'll show you what's happening in the control cabinet as we do that. Now, as soon as I flip this switch, and because the pressure control is requesting, or essentially is low, that's going to complete the coil circuit in this contactor, and the contactor will pull in and send power to the motor. Motor will spin and we'll get our compressor going. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it, but here's the contactor, and this little button right here is a bit of a visual indicator, and it's gonna suck in. So it's gonna show the contactor getting sucked in as we do this. All right, so I'll go ahead and flip this off camera, and I will point you over here as I do it. Ready, here we go. Alright, so essentially, very loud, sorry for the headphone users. What just happened is the pressure switch got satisfied, flipped off this switch, which is in the coil circuit. Set points are right around 150 psi, which opened the coil on the contactor. Hopefully you were able to see the button pop out, see how it's out now, and that opens the contactor. And our compressor stops because it's satisfied. And then once it gets below a certain point after it's being used, the pressure drops. The pressure switch is going to come back into play, essentially closing the coil circuit again. Coil for the contactor satisfied, closes the contactor, cycle repeats. This is just a manual switch to sort of break that circuit. And I generally keep in the off position just because I don't want to go in off, compressor going off in the middle of the night. Cool. Let's talk about the overloads real quick. So the heaters or overloads that are part of this circuit and that really make this a motor control instead of just a contactor are down here, and they don't come into play unless they overheat, unless they get hot, and then they will break the coil circuit as we talked about last time. But you can essentially set them into two configurations. So, get my pointing apparatus again. You can see the H and the A for the reset. So this is the reset. It's an actual button right here. This is the heater set point, okay? And then the test button up here. So I am in H. That's where I have this configured, which means hand, which means a manual reset is required. So if this ever gets tripped, it won't automatically reset. It's going to require me to come and press that blue button to reset the state. Your other option is to put it in A, which is automatic reset. And then as soon as the heaters essentially cool down, it will automatically close again and continue. So we also showed this light last time as part of that. So essentially the way this works is you can manually test this. Essentially, you can pull the test button out. I've pulled that out, pulled it out. Now the overload button is lit. Okay, and this simulates exactly what happens when the heaters come into play. and you can see the little yellow flag right there in that window called trip. So essentially it means it's tripped, and it will not re-engage now because we're in the hand mode. You have to press the blue button, you depress it. That resets it. You see the trip flag is cleared now, and this would work again. So I'll dump off some pressure here so we get to a point where the compressor wants to be filled again, and we can manually engage the heaters again and show you that the compressor just will not turn on. Okay, so I'll shut this off, bleed a bunch of air, come right back. All right, we're back. We have some air out. It is manually off right now, but the compressor should be calling based on the pressure switch if this wasn't interrupting it. Okay, so as per normal, all this would just work. But what we're going to do is activate the heaters, the heater part of that circuit, so you can see what happens. So we just go in here. Okay, that is now active. The overload light is on. You can see the trip flag, there we go, is engaged. So if we flip this on now, nothing happens, even though we're at a pressure that is calling. And that's because that is tripped. So if we untrip that, essentially reset the heater part, the light will clear and the contactor will close, and then compressor will turn back on, everything will be normal. There you go. Very simple motor control circuit using a contactor and some heaters or overloads. And that's it. The application here is an air compressor, but you see this kind of motor control circuit used all over the place. If you're in any kind of industrial application at all, you'll see it all over. And here we have, a very simple application.